Okay. So the reason, well, it's not saying while I'm about to get started teaching. The reason that I went ahead and put this on the board is I want you guys to go ahead and pull out page 25. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead and tear out page 25 in your workbook. Go ahead and tear out page 25. And it's got a couple circles. They're much rounder and they don't look nearly as funky as my circles. But we're going to be talking about this. I'm going to try to fix this bottom circle one more time.
That's kind of weird.
There's an awful lot of chit chat for students who are just pulling out a paper. Okay? It's not time to talk. Okay, so on our Venn diagram, you see one similar on your page. We're not going to fill it out yet, but I want you to have an idea of it. The top circle says Federalist, the bottom says Anti-Federalist, and we're going to chat about that a little bit as we read. So we're looking at page 43 now in our textbook with our worksheet set to the side, just like Morgan has it, just like Honesty has it, just like Rihanna has it. Let's make sure our pencils are down, though. We want to make sure we're paying attention. You're just going to have that worksheet set aside. No, thank you. So on the top of page 43, it says Federalist and Anti-Federalist, which we already see up here on our Venn diagram today. It says, the Constitution did not become law as soon as the delegates signed it. Remember the little bill on Capitol Hill? Does a bill become a law quickly?
No.
No. Does it take a long time?
Could I have Caleb Joyner to the admin office for a moment, please? Caleb Joyner.
So yeah, it takes a long time. So we saw the same thing. We talked about the Constitution yesterday. We finally got a Constitution. What else did we talk about yesterday?
We talked about how there's
What about the song we listened to?
pyramid.
Not pyramid. It starts with a P though.
I forgot the word.
Preamble. Everyone say preamble. The preamble was the introduction to the Constitution. And yesterday when we left our book, we found that the Constitution had been finished, but it would become a law not very quickly. It took a long time for it to become a law after the delegates signed it. The states first needed to approve it. So we have our 13 states, and these 13 states need to all go, all right, I'm going to take my rubber stamp, and I'm going to say, yes, I like this. If 9 of the 13 states approved, it would become a law. So listen, there were 13 states, but only 9 of them had to approve. If 9 of them agreed, then that would become a law. Not all Americans liked the Constitution. People who liked the Constitution were called Federalists. So let's look at our worksheet there, page 25. The very first blank says, liked the what? What did they like? Everybody say it. I just said it. Who said it? Nope. No. Thank you, Liam. Yes. So we know, we just read it in our reading. If you're listening and paying attention, you'll know that. It says, not all Americans liked the Constitution. People who liked the Constitution were called Federalists. So in our Venn diagram, we see that they liked the, and in the blank, Constitution. So people called Federalists, they liked the Constitution. Did everybody like the Constitution? No. But who liked the Constitution? Who? Everybody, who? Thank you. The Federalists liked the Constitution. That is a vocabulary word too. That's a term we're going to keep seeing. They thought the states should accept it. People who did not like it were called anti-federalist. And they thought the Constitution was a bad idea. So look down at your circle on page 25 where you've got your anti-federalist. The anti-federalists thought the Constitution was bad. Put in your blank again, Constitution. So what did the Anti-Federalists think the Constitution was, everyone?
Bad.
Everybody?
Bad.
Everybody?
Bad.
Thank you. And who was that?
The anti.
Federalists. Yes, very good. They thought the Constitution was a bad idea. They believed it took too much power from the people and the states. The Anti-Federalists wanted a statement or a Bill of Rights to protect their freedom. The Federalists thought that a Bill of Rights was not needed. The Constitution listed the national government's power. The people and the states had all other powers. So the Federalists thought who should accept the Constitution? The 13 what?
States.
The 13 states. So up here in your Federalists, we're going to say they thought states should accept the Constitution.
We're lucky because you have to write the whole thing, but we just have to write one thing.
Yeah, but it's okay. I don't mind a little hard work if it makes y'all's life a little easier. All right, also the Federalists thought that what was not needed? Go into your reading.
A Bill of Rights.
Excellent job, Aiden Parker, the Bill of Rights. They thought the Bill of Rights was not needed. Thank you for going into the reading and finding that in the paragraph. Excellent work. Okay. Now let's hop down back here down to our Anti-Federalist. They wanted a what to protect their freedom? It's the same thing that the Federalists didn't think they needed.
Bill
Bill of Rights. So guys, look up here real fast. The Federalists thought the Bill of Rights wasn't needed. The Anti-Federalists, they wanted to make sure that they were protected. They wanted a Bill of Rights to make sure that all of their freedoms and their liberties weren't getting stripped away. So in your bottom circle for your Anti-Federalists, they wanted a Bill of Rights to protect their freedom. They just didn't want the government to have all of the power. They wanted to make sure that their rights as states were protected. We've talked about how they didn't necessarily see eye to eye and agree on everything. And they wanted written limits on the what kind of government. Look at the last paragraph on page 43. Look at the last paragraph on page 43. Last paragraph on page 43 wanted written limits on who? What kind of government did they want written limits on? Tyler? No, Liam, help him out.
The national government.
Yes, very good. So that last paragraph shows the people, the Constitution listed the national government's powers. The people in the states had all other powers. So they wanted written limits on national government. But guys, with the Venn diagram, we use the Venn diagram to compare. We know that we can contrast. We know we've got difference between Federalists and Anti-Federalists, But what did they agree on? What's written there in the center of your circle? Someone read that for me. Someone read what's written in the center of the circle on page 25. Liam? Cared. Here, the center. Right here. Cared.
About the country vote.
Very good. So the thing that they all had in common, it's already written there for you on your Venn diagram. They cared about the country. This is already written, so you don't have to worry about it. They cared about the country and they loved freedom. So they had a lot of things not in common. You can contrast those things like we did here and here. But here shows us they had some things in common. They cared about their country and they loved freedom. Look over at page 44 in your textbook. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go to the hall, though. Okay. So it says since I'm videoing. All right. So look on page 44. It says the Anti-Federalists wanted written limits on the national government. These would tell what the national government could not do. Anti-Federalists thought it might take more freedoms from the people and the states, and the Americans had fought the Revolutionary War to win freedom from a powerful government. So guys, look at me. They're looking at this and they're going, okay, well, we fought the Revolutionary War because we had a king and we had a monarchy and they got to tell us what to do. We fought that war so we could have more freedoms. So it would be really silly if we felt like we were just going right back in and having some big government telling us what to do. They didn't want their freedoms taken away was the big thing. Many Americans agreed that the Constitution needed a Bill of Rights. Well, we talked about that here. A lot of people thought they needed a Bill of Rights. That Bill of Rights would protect your freedom. I'm going to say that again. The Bill of Rights would protect your freedom. Even though they trusted the Constitution, they knew it set up a strong government, and Americans wanted to protect their freedoms from that government. So we know the Constitution is good, guys. Is the Constitution good?
Yeah.
Yes. Is the Constitution strong?
Yes.
Yes. We got away from the Articles of Confederation because they were weak. We built a Constitution because we needed a strong government. But you don't want a government so strong that all of those freedoms that you worked so hard for start going away. Would you guys want your freedoms to go away after you worked so hard for them? No. That would be like me going, all right, real good job, Liam, on your Venn diagram. I'm going to take it and throw it away now. Is that okay? Would you want me to, because if I throw it away, you could go great on it. You worked so hard. So it's just like that. You wouldn't want to work hard in Ms. V's class and then me take all of your papers and not grade them. You would say, hey, I worked hard on them. Well, the revolutionaries worked hard. They won a war. I mean, you guys aren't in a war against Ms. B. They won a war. They didn't want those freedoms to go away. So they fought very hard to get this Bill of Rights put into place because the Constitution was good. The Constitution was strong. But they needed to protect their freedom. So go ahead and flip over to the back page of your worksheet, page 26. Everybody have the Venn diagram? I'm going to erase it off the board if we're all good to go.
You got it.
Put your hand on your head if you're good. Cool beans. Awesome sauce. We're going to move on. See, that's what it feels like. All that writing I did, I worked so hard and then I just took it away. That's what it feels like to work really hard and then have your freedom taken away. See, y'all just saw it. Okay, so let's look at page 26. Number 1 says, a delegate who said all the delegates should vote for the Constitution. So go back into your book. Go back into your book and let's see if we can find this guy. Everybody should be back in their book, not playing. I'm trying to find the page for you. Yeah, page 42 in your book. Page 42 in your book. We're looking for the delegate who said all delegates should vote for the Constitution.
But I know Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, very good. Number 1, the delegate that said everybody should vote was Benjamin Franklin. Number 2, many Americans agreed the Constitution needed what? We just talked about this. It gives us those freedoms.
Oh, a Bill of Rights.
Excellent job, Nathan. A Bill of Rights. Because was the Constitution good, 3rd grade?
Yeah.
Was the Constitution strong?
Yeah.
Did it protect our freedom?
Yeah. No.
No, it didn't protect our freedom. So what did we need?
Bill of Rights.
Yes, a Bill of Rights to protect our freedom. So if you look down, you've got your Bill of Rights. It shows you. You have freedom of religion, which means you can worship however and whoever you want. You have freedom of the press. That means that the press can report on different events and things that are happening, and they have the freedom to do that. Newspapers, magazines, the news stations. You have freedom of speech. Now, freedom of speech is a hard one because freedom of speech means you are allowed to say what you want to say. But does that mean you should walk around and say ungodly things? No. We do know that we answer to a higher power, and that higher power is Christ. You also have something called freedom to assembly and petition. That means that if you want to write a petition to change something, you can. If you want to go assemble peacefully somewhere and protest something you don't agree with, you can, because you've been given that right as an American through the Bill of Rights. Our Second Amendment, that's what these are called, by the way. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. The Second Amendment is called, the articles in the Bill of Rights are called amendments. Everyone say amendment.
Amendment.
So the First Amendment gives you that right to freedom of religion, the press, speech, and the freedom to assembly or petition. The Second Amendment gives you the right to bear arms. Who thinks they know what the right to bear arms means? Aiden? Not kill bears, no. Look at the picture on your Bill of Rights. Nathan?
Oh, God. I'm good.
Yes, it gives you the right to own firearms. That's in our Bill of Rights as well. Number 3, the Third Amendment, there's limits on housing soldiers. So back when there were wars, pay attention to me, please. Back when there were wars, they could bring soldiers in and they could be like, Morgan, we're going to put all these soldiers and they're going to stay at your house, okay? And you had to let them. So the Amendment 3 of the Bill of Rights says you don't have to do that anymore. Number 4, the Fourth Amendment, it limits on searches and seizures. That means that if a police officer or somebody wants to come and search your house for something, they have to have a warrant signed by a judge. So you can't just have somebody come into your house. I can't come into Morgan's house and be like, all right, Morgan, I want to look around your stuff, okay? Can I do that? Good answer. Number 5, the Fifth Amendment, right to due process of law. Have you ever heard innocent until proven guilty? Okay. Innocent until proven guilty means you have the right, if you do something wrong or you're accused of doing something wrong, you have the right to have a court hear your story through your lawyer or whoever's representing you, and that is called due process. The Sixth Amendment, you have rights of a person accused of a crime. Number 7, you have a right to a jury trial in civil cases. These all kind of go together. Aiden Parker, I'm really struggling with you right now because everyone else is paying attention. Honesty's playing with a pencil, but she's still paying attention, right? So please don't be leaned over in your chair. This is important stuff. Number 8, your 8th Amendment, forbidding of unfair bail, fines, and punishments. Your 9th Amendment, rights not listed in the Constitution given to citizens. And your 10th, powers reserved to the states or the people. So that Bill of Rights that you see right there, that was what was given to us to protect our rights after the Constitution was made. So let's look at number 3. Write the Bill of Rights number that allows for each situation. Mr. Braddock is buying a gun. Which Bill of Rights number would allow him to buy a gun? Aiden?
2.
Yes, very good. The Second Amendment allows you to purchase a firearm.
Ms. Pat?
And number 4, Mrs. Clark writes for a newspaper. Which amendment is that? Liam?
It is 1.
Yes, the First Amendment, freedom of press. Very good. So those are our bills of rights.
Question is to move for the vote.
That will come back up again. So know it. Get familiar with it. Everything we talked about today is going to pop back up. We have review days for the next couple of days. We're going to work on a study guide. And then on Friday, we have a review game. Okay? We're going to play a game. Well, I give prizes for game winners, but you got to be ready for that game and you got to know the stuff from this chapter. Okay? Any questions on what we discussed today?
No.
All right, well, honestly, hold on, Aiden Parker. Okay, so honestly, we're finishing up kind of early today, but that was the whole lesson. It wasn't very much as we're wrapping up the chapter. I do ask that you guys start to get yourself familiar with what you've been looking at in this chapter. We're going to be coming up on a test. Have your preamble from yesterday and your paper from today sitting on top of your desk so I can come around and collect it. And then you may find something quiet to do at your seat. But look, when I say quiet to do at your seat, that's not turn around talking to a friend or whispering to a neighbor. It's quiet at your seat. All right.